Very good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha Television this Saturday morning. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on a campaign tour of 3 states to address rallies in West Bengal, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Star campaigners out in full force for BJP. Amit Shah to address rallies in Karnataka and Kerala. Rajnath Singh to lead charge in Uttar Pradesh. For the Congress, Rahul Gandhi campaigns in Chhattisgarh. Sister Priyanka Gandhi in Rahul's constituency of Wayanad. SP, BSP leaders Akhilesh and Mayawati to hold joint rallies in Uttar Pradesh's Firozabad and Rampur. Howrah-Delhi Purva Express derails near Kanpur. 13 injured as the 8 coaches derail. No casualties reported. Special relief train leaves for Delhi with 900 passengers of Purva Express. Violence intensifies in Libya. Over 200 killed in clashes. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj tells Indians to leave capital city Tripoli immediately. 500 Indian nationals still in the city. And grand opening for India at the Asian Boxing Championships in Bangkok. Sonia Chahal and Satish Kumar enter quarterfinals. 3 Indians in the last 16 stage. In the Asian Weightlifting Championship in China, former world champion Mirabai Chanu to spearhead India's challenge. First up, let's get you all the election-related news. With less than 2 days left for the campaigning to close for the third phase, electioneering is at its peak. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 3-state tour to campaign for the BJP today. Prime Minister Modi will hold rallies in West Bengal, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. He will first address an election rally in Bunyadpur in West Bengal, followed by a rally in Araria in Bihar, where he will campaign for the BJP candidate Pradeep Kumar Singh. In Uttar Pradesh, Prime Minister Modi will campaign for BJP candidate from Etah Rajveer Singh and Bareilly candidate Santosh Kumar Gangwar. And our colleague Navikram Singh is now joining us live from Etah in Uttar Pradesh. And very good morning, Navikram. So, for the third phase of Lok Sabha election, of course, the electioneering has reached its peak. And today, of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also be in Etah. And, it is very interesting because Etah has always been a BJP bastion. How does the contest look like this time?
जी बिल्कुल, अगर इस पूरे क्षेत्र की बात करें ऐश्वर्या, ये पूरे इलाके में एटा सीट पर पिछली बार जीत दर्ज की थी बीजेपी ने। राजवीर सिंह, जो कल्याण सिंह, ये कल्याण सिंह का क्षेत्र माना जाता है एटा का, लेकिन इसके साथ ही जो इस सीटों पर जैसे मैनपुरी, फिरोजाबाद, इन जगह पर समाजवादी पार्टी का गढ़ माना जाता है। तो एक तरह से इस बार बड़ा दिलचस्प मुकाबला देखने को मिल रहा है, क्योंकि कल हुई रैली में जिस तरीके से मायावती और मुलायम ने एक साथ अपने वोटरों से गठबंधन को वोट देने की अपील की है, ऐसे में दिलचस्प आज ये देखना होगा कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी का क्या संदेश होता है अपने कार्यकर्ताओं को, साथ ही जनता को। हम यहाँ के जो लोकल लोग हैं, जो स्थानीय लोग हैं, उनसे बात करेंगे। सबसे पहले तो आपसे बात करेंगे कि आप बताइए कि किस तरीके से आपको लगता है कि इस बार जो सपा बसपा का गठबंधन है, बीजेपी इसका मुकाबला कर पाएगी?
बीजेपी बिल्कुल मुकाबला कर पाएगी साहब।
कैसे क्या स्थानीय समीकरण है?
समीकरण यहाँ पे देखिए, लोधी वोट की संख्या है काफ़ी हद तक, और मोदी ने जो काम किए हैं तो सब कास्ट का वोट मिल रहा है मोदी को।
अच्छा, आप अपना नाम बताइए।
मेरा नाम मोमिन है।
आप ये बताइए कि आपको लगता है कि इस बार क्या सरकार ने कुछ काम किए हैं?
सरकार ने काम किए हैं, यहाँ के एमपी ने काम नहीं किए। यहाँ पे
सरकार ने काम किए?
हाँ, एमपी ने काम नहीं किया, यहाँ पे सरकार ने काम किया है।
जी तो आप देख सकते हैं ऐश्वर्या, ये इलाका थोड़ा संवेदनशील भी रहा है। एटा क्षेत्र में पिछली बार 26 जनवरी को तिरंगा यात्रा के दौरान कोई एक वारदात हुई थी, जिसके बाद यहाँ संवेदनशील इलाका माना गया था। तो इस बार यहाँ दिलचस्प मुकाबला देखने को मिलेगा, खास तौर पर आज की रैली में एटा और बरेली में प्रधानमंत्री क्या संदेश देते हैं इन 10 सीटों के लिए, और यहाँ कार्यकर्ताओं में कितना उत्साह प्रधानमंत्री की रैली के बाद होता है, ये देखने वाली बात होगी।
All right, Navikam, thank you so much for all those updates and details from ETA, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to hold a rally today. Thank you so much. And in an interview to Times Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took on the Congress party for raising questions on Sadhvi Pragya's candidature from Bhopal. He said that party ticket to Pragya is a symbol to answer those who demean a great culture.
श्रीमती गांधी जी की हत्या हुई, उसके बाद उनके सुपुत्र ने कहा था कि एक बड़ा पैर गिरता है तो जमीन हिलती है, और उसके बाद देश में लाखों हजारों सरदारों का कत्लेआम किया गया। क्या ये टेरर नहीं था? क्या एक निश्चित लोगों का टेरर नहीं था? उसके बाद भी उनको प्रधानमंत्री बना दिया गया, और उसके संबंध में एक सवाल इस देश के न्यूट्रल मीडिया ने कभी पूछा नहीं, जो आज पूछ रहा है। जो लोग उस समय आंखों देखे गवाह है कि इन्होंने ये टेरर किया, इतने सरदारों को जला दिया, उनको बाद में एमपी बनाया गया, उनको केंद्र में मिनिस्टर बनाया गया, उसमें से एक को भी मध्य प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री बनाया गया, जिन पर आरोप लगे हुए हैं। क्या कभी उनको पूछा नहीं गया? और इसलिए हिंदुस्तान के अंदर इस प्रकार की बातें। दूसरा, जो लोगों को कोर्ट ने सजा दी है, उनको जाकर के लोग गले लगा रहे हैं, जेल में जाकर के मिल रहे हैं। अगर जेल से अस्पताल आए तो उनको मिलने जा रहे हैं। उनको उसूल की बातें करने का हक है क्या? और इसलिए दूसरा, अगर अमेठी के उम्मीदवार जमानत पर हो तो चर्चा नहीं, रायबरेली का उम्मीदवार जमानत पर हो तो चर्चा नहीं, लेकिन भोपाल का उम्मीदवार जमानत पर हो तो ये बहुत बड़ा तूफान खड़ा कर दे। ये कैसा चलेगा? दूसरा, एक महिला को, वो भी एक साध्वी को, इस प्रकार से प्रताड़ित किया गया। और मैं गुजरात में रह के आया हूँ, मैं कांग्रेस की मोडस ऑपरेंडी को भली भांति समझ गया हूँ। वो क्या करते थे, जैसे फिल्म की स्क्रिप्ट लिखते हैं, वैसे पहले कागज पे बैठ करके स्क्रिप्ट लिखते हैं कि ऐसे ऐसे एक छोटा सा कहीं से ढूंढ के लाएंगे, उसको ऐसे फैलाएंगे, फिर इसमें ऐसे रंग भरेंगे, फिर ऐसे अंदर एक विलन को ले आएंगे, फिर उसके अंदर ऐसा हीरो हीरोइन लाएंगे, और फिर स्टोरी बनाएंगे, और फिर जा कर के हमारे यहाँ जितने एनकाउंटर हुए उन सबको ऐसे ही चलाया गया। हर घटना को ऐसी खींचते थे, जोड़ देते हैं। दूसरी बात मैंने देखा, जस्टिस लोया का जिसका नेचुरल मृत्यु हुआ था, उसी मोडस ऑपरेंडी से ऐसा केस बना दिया जैसे उनकी हत्या हो गई, उसी प्रकार से बना। तो ये, और इन दिनों भी ईवीएम को लेकर के लंदन में पेश करने वाले लोग थे, उसी मोडस ऑपरेंडी से किया। अभी हमने उन्होंने झूठी वीडियो बना करके डिमोनेटाइजेशन को लेकर के ड्रामा किया, वो भी ऐसा ही हुआ। अभी भी शायद 4 दिन पहले ऐसे ही एक ड्रामा किया था। तो ये इनकी मोडस ऑपरेंडी है, उसी मोडस ऑपरेंडी का हिस्सा है। और समझौता एक्सप्रेस का जजमेंट आ गया, क्या निकला? और आपने बिना सबूत को दुनिया में 5000 साल तक जिस महान संस्कृति और परंपरा ने वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का संदेश दिया, सर्वे अपि सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया का संदेश दिया, जिस संस्कृति ने एकम सद विप्रहा बहुधा वदंती का संदेश दिया, ऐसी संस्कृति को आपने आतंकवादी कह दिया। उन सबको जवाब देने के लिए एक सिंबल है, और इस सिंबल कांग्रेस को महंगा पड़ने वाला है।
Campaigning is picking pace ahead of a third phase of Lok Sabha elections. BJP President Amit Shah will be in Karnataka and Kerala for campaigning. At 11 in the morning, he will hold a roadshow in Shimoga district of Karnataka. Then he will travel to Kerala, where he will hold a roadshow in Pathanamthitta, where he will hold a public rally. And in the evening, he will address a public meeting in Alappuzha. And Home Minister Rajnath Singh is in Uttar Pradesh for campaigning. Today, he will campaign for BJP candidate Bhanu Pratap Singh in Jalaun Lok Sabha constituency. And Congress President Rahul Gandhi will be in Chhattisgarh and Bihar today. In Chhattisgarh, he will address rallies in Bilaspur and Durg. And in Bihar, he will hold a rally in Supol. And Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will be on a two-day visit to Kerala's Wayanad from today. Now, this is the second Lok Sabha seat from where Congress chief and her brother Rahul Gandhi is contesting, apart from Amethi. And a day after SP founder Mulayam Singh Yadav and BSP chief Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav shared a stage at Manpuri rally. Today, Akhilesh Mayawati joint rallies will be seen in Firozabad and in Rampur for the third phase election campaign. And Ravinder Singh Shivran, our colleague, is now joining us live from Rajkot Lok Sabha constituency. Ravinder, now as far as Rajkot is concerned, of course, it is a mix of urban and rural areas, a key seat in Saurashtra region of Gujarat. It has remained a BJP bastion for over 2 decades now. BJP has won the seat 6 times in the last 7 elections. How does the contest look like this time here?
Yes, good morning, Aishwarya. Not only the Rajkot constituency, but whole of the Saurashtra and also the whole of the Gujarat has been a bastion for the BJP for the last many years. BJP has been ruling in the state for more than 2 decades now. And in 2014, BJP could manage to register a facile victory in all the 26 constituencies. And the BJP is again trying hard to win all the seats of this state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself has been leading the campaign for the BJP with the help of Party President Amit Shah and many cabinet colleagues who has been camping here. And they have been seeking votes on the name of development, which has been carried out by the NDA dispensation in the center during the last 5 years. See, let me take you briefly to the history of this area. This is the Saurashtra area, especially the Junagadh, which is very close to this area. Junagadh is the place which was briefly part of Pakistan for a couple of months. Then it was later, through a plebiscite, it was taken back and it was part of the country at the time of 1947 when India got independence. This place, Porbandar, is one of the constituencies where Mahatma Gandhi was born. This place, the Saurashtra region, Shahnawaz Bhutto, who was the grandfather of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. He was also part of this area only. So this is a place which has the power of not only remarkably contributed in the history of India, but also contributed in the history, shaping the history of the whole subcontinent.
All right.
Now, with the efforts of Sardar Patel, this was made part of India. And these are the issues which has been raised by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the time when he was addressing a rally a couple of days back here. He said that the contribution of Sardar Patel was so towering that no other political leader at that time can match his contribution. And he also made it clear that the allegations which has been leveled by the Congress party for the construction of a Statue of Unity, that this is the attempt of the BJP, Prime Minister Modi, to belittle or to denigrate the first Prime Minister of this country.
All right.
In a bad eye in front of Sardar Patel. This is a wrong accusation, as the Sardar Patel's contribution is so high and that was so remarkable and tremendous that all the leaders of that time, they look small in front of his contribution.
All right.
The BJP, the Congress party here in 2017 could manage to get around 75 seats in the Vidhan Sabha elections, and the cadre of a Congress party after that is quite Pollyannic, and they have been quite confident that this time they may be able to open their account in the Lok Sabha as well. They have been raising the issues. Rahul Gandhi, while addressing the rallies in Amreli and Junagadh area, he has been raising the issues of farmers' distress in this area, the water scarcity.
And the entire Saurashtra region of BJP, of course, is a BJP bastion. But Congress determined really to give a tough fight to the BJP in the Lok Sabha election. Thank you so much, Ravindra, for all those updates there from Rajkot in Gujarat. And scrutiny of nominations for the fifth phase of Lok Sabha elections is taking place today. 51 seats in 7 states will go to polls in the fifth phase on 6th of May. Polling for 14 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 12 in Rajasthan, 7 seats each in West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh, 5 in Bihar, 4 in Jharkhand, 2 seats in Jammu and Kashmir will take place in the fifth phase. And nominations for the fifth phase had begun on 11th of April and ended on 18th of April. And 22nd of April is the last date for the withdrawal of candidature. Campaigning for the fifth phase will end on 4th of May. And accusing the ruling parties in West Bengal and Odisha of resorting to violence, the BJP on Friday urged the Election Commission to take more measures, including deploying additional central forces and installing CCTV cameras to ensure fair and free polls. The BJP has submitted 3 memorandums pertaining to different issues to the Chief Election Commissioner. The BJP also urged the Election Commission to declare polling booths as sensitive in the third and fourth phase of polling in West Bengal. And India being the largest democracy in the world, the general elections are being keenly watched by the foreign countries as well. Our correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke to Dr. Jasper Wieck, German ambassador in New Delhi. Let's take a listen.
Deputy Ambassador of Germany in India is with me. Ambassador, this is the election time in India. And how are you watching Indian elections?
Well, the impression that I take home for the time being is that India is a very vibrant democracy with competition between the various parties, between the various politicians. So it is democracy in the best sense of the word.
So the type of debate that is taking place in India in the election time, how you evaluate it? How are you seeing it?
Well, it's a very important debate. It's a debate on social issues, on economic issues. It's also on international issues and the Indian posture in the region. So the topics that are highlighted by the politicians are very close to the hearts and minds of the people, and that is what an election campaign should be about, to unfold programs and manifestos for the future and give the people an opportunity to choose how they want their country to be developed in the upcoming years.
So do you think that this election will also shape, this debate will also shape the foreign policy of India in future?
Well, there has been a lot of continuity in foreign and international policy of India. There have been nuances, but the most important thing is that India's role in the world has increased over the last years and decades. And of course, this entails new responsibilities. And that's for us the great news, if I might say so, that with India we have a partner that is becoming stronger and stronger, a partner with whom we can tackle international challenges, global challenges in a much more effective way than this would have been possible decades ago. So we look for a partnership and we have a keen interest in a strong and prosperous India.
Let's get to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday promised the traders 50 lakh rupees loan without any collateral, credit card facility and a pension scheme for small shopkeepers if NDA is re-elected. Addressing a traders convention in Delhi's Talkatoora Stadium, PM Modi said that the BJP-led NDA government in the last 5 years at the centre worked to simplify lives and the businesses of traders by scrapping 1,500 archaic laws, simplifying processes and providing easy credit. The Prime Minister added that traders are backbone of the Indian economy but had in the past never got the respect that they deserved. Hitting out at the Congress, he said that the party was in its 70-year-old rule only insulted businessmen.
साथियों, आजादी के बाद से कांग्रेस के शासन में व्यापारियों को लेकर एक धारणा बना दी गई थी कि देश में जो कुछ भी गड़बड़ हो रही है वो सिर्फ व्यापारियों की वजह से हो रही है। कांग्रेस के जमाखोरों ने महंगाई के खेल से फायदा उठाया और तोहमत व्यापारी वर्ग पर मढ़ दी कि महंगाई व्यापारियों की वजह से होती है।
The Prime Minister added that the goods and services tax has made doing a business transparent, ended state check posts and resulted in doubling of the registered traders.
साथियों, आज आपके सहयोग से ही वन नेशन वन टैक्स का सपना साकार हुआ है। जीएसटी के बाद बनी व्यवस्थाओं की वजह से अब आपको हर राज्य में अलग अलग चुंगी नाके का टैक्स नहीं देना होता। ई-वे बिल से आपका सामान कितनी आसानी से पूरे देश में जा रहा है। ट्रकों की कतारें कम हो गई हैं। कोई अंतरराज्यीय अवरोध नहीं रहा है।
And the Howrah-Delhi Purva Express derailed near Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh. At least 13 people were injured as the 12 coaches of the Purva Express derailed near the Ruma railway station at around 12:50 am. 4 coaches had overturned in the mishap. The train was going from Prayagraj to New Delhi when the incident occurred. North Central Railway Public Relations Officer has said that all injured have been admitted to the hospital. All the passengers are being given relief assistance, help and medical aid. A special relief train with 900 passengers who were on board the Purva Express has now left for Delhi.
हालात ये हैं कि सारे यात्री यहाँ से जा चुके हैं। जो यात्री डिरेल्ड कोचेस में थे उनको रात में ही हम लोगों ने विशेष बसों के द्वारा यहाँ से कानपुर सेंट्रल भिजवा दिया। वहाँ से उनकी विशेष रेलगाड़ी से वो ऑलरेडी जा चुके हैं दिल्ली अपने गंतव्य स्थल की तरफ। अभी हादसे की वजह के बारे में हम लोगों को कुछ जानकारी नहीं है, क्योंकि हादसे की वजह बहुत स्पष्ट नहीं है, या बल्कि बोला जाए तो बिल्कुल स्पष्ट नहीं है। जो भी साक्ष्य हैं, जो एविडेंसेस हैं, उनको हम लोग कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं मेजरमेंट्स के द्वारा या फोटोग्राफी वीडियोग्राफी के द्वारा।
And privacy concerns for Facebook have been raised once again. Facebook has revealed that it had accidentally stored millions of Instagram user passwords in a plain text, a major security issue that the company had previously said only affected tens of thousands of users. In a 21st of March announcement, Facebook had stated that during a routine security review, it found that some Instagram passwords were being stored in a readable format. The passwords were accessible to Facebook employees, but the company did not find any evidence that they had been improperly accessed or leaked. The development comes a day after the social networking giant said that it may have unintentionally uploaded email contacts of 1.5 million new users since May 2016. The social network's handling of the user data has been a flashpoint for controversy since it admitted last year that Cambridge Analytica, a political consultancy, used an app that may have hijacked the private details of 87 million users. Top international news in the wake of worsening security situation in Libya. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has urged the Indians living in Libyan capital Tripoli to leave the city immediately. In a tweet, Sushma Swaraj said that though there had been massive evacuations from Libya, more than 500 Indians were still stranded in Tripoli. The minister said that if the Indians stranded in Tripoli do not leave immediately, then it may not be possible to evacuate them later. Over 200 people were killed in Tripoli in the last 2 weeks since the renegade Libyan military commander Khalifa Haftar's troops launched a strike to oust the UN-backed Prime Minister Faiz al-Sarraj from power. And sports news now. It was an all-win opening day for India at the Asian Boxing Championships in Bangkok. Commonwealth Games silver medalist Satish Kumar and world silver medalist Sonia Chahal entered the quarterfinals on Friday. Satish outpunched Iran's Iman to make the last 8, while the world silver medalist Sonia defeated Vietnam's Uyan Du Naha in the women's draw. 3 other Indian boxers, national champion Deepak, Rohit Tokas and Ashish, also advanced to the last 16 stage with confident victories. Over 100 women and 198 men boxers from 34 countries are vying for top honours in the championship. And former world champion Mirabai Chanu is set to spearhead India's challenge at the Asian Weightlifting Championship 2019 that begins in China today. Now, Chanu will be competing in the 49 kg category from 48 kg category, following the International Weightlifting Federation's rejig of the weight categories. Among the male weightlifters, India's hope will be on Jeremy, the gold medalist at the Youth Olympic Games. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day ahead.